Peace and blessings. What's up with the people? Been a minute, man. I've been doing my thing, investing in myself. So I had to take a break. Plus, if I could say anything about the break, just when you think you know something, you realize you don't know shit. So that kind of like sums up my hiatus. Cheers to everybody still walking, sleeping, eating, shitting with life. You dig? And actually that kind of like correlates with my message for the night. So with that being stated, let me get the disclaimer out the way if I still remember it. Alright, so my content is for educational purposes only. I can't stress enough for y'all to do your own research. Appraise my content, throw any errors you find in the comments. None of us have been alive long enough to know all there is to know, and none of us can live long enough to learn all there is to learn. Hey man, I'm an individual that's kind of like hard on itself. I'm like my worst critic. Anybody that knows me on a personal level that's ever been on the inside of my circle knows that. And they also know that anybody that is on my inner circle or in my inner circle, I'm never going to be the guy, the friend that's going to sit by idly and watch you crash into a brick wall. If anything, I'm going to be the guy, the friend, that's going to dig in your motherfucking ass and let you know what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I ain't going to be kikiing and ha-haing and tap dancing and yesing and going along with everything you feel as though is right if it ain't right. You know what I mean? I'll be the one that, pull you to the side or wait till we, away from the crowds and let you have it. Yo, don't do that. Don't do that shit no more, man. That was some sucker shit. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case, you know what I mean? I'm that guy. Anyway, another form of tough love, you know what I mean? If you got, genuine care and concern or love for anybody, that's how you need to give it to them, you know what I mean? Not embarrass them, not air their dirty laundry, but if you see them slipping or falling or on a crash collision course, you're supposed to pull their coattail in no uncertain, circumstances. The point when it comes to that type of shit is to get their attention, Put that mirror up to them to show them, what it is that you're talking about and what you're trying to assist them in avoiding. So, again, I'm like my worst critic, man. And it ultimately, means that I really don't have time to focus on what somebody else is doing. Unless they happen to be in my inner circle. However, I know everybody that watches, my videos or those that frequent my face page aren't fans. I'm acutely aware, however, never was one to sweat the small shit. So with that being stated, I'm going to get into my message. All right. All right, so we've all been blessed with the gift of life, man. We've all been born with gifts, talents, abilities, and a certain type of makeup. that makes us who we are as individuals, which is our power. And problem with that is, you know, based on the way society has been cultivated over the centuries, you know, it just happens to be effects based on those causes that have resulted in certain circumstances that we happen to be living within right now. So to get into it, man, my thing is to anybody watching this video, you know, what are you going to do? Well, what do you mean, Malik? Let me tell y'all what I mean when I say that. You know, if something drastic were to happen whereby you would have to do something that would put your life on the line, you know, some of us know about these types of situations where you have to let your loved one or loved ones, no, your loved one or somebody that you're in a situation with, you know, relationship with, yo, I gotta go take care of something. And if I don't come back, I need you to do X, Y, Z. You know, if something like that was to take place, you know, would you feel comfortable dealing with that? Would the thought even cross your mind? Well, what about my offspring? You know, what about those that's underneath my charge? Whether it's your offspring or something or somebody else. You know, are they going to be all right? Do I have my affairs in order? You know, this is what I want to touch on first, man. And, you know, I don't get a whole lot of, you know, messages in the comments, but, you know, just in case for, you know, anybody that might be waiting in the wings, you know, this is all out of love, man. This is all out of me caring about my people and trying to bring some things to the forefront of your consciousness, you know, because of the way society is and the way we've all lived and some of us still do live. We're living in crazy times, man, right now. You know, I know myself, I don't watch news. I don't watch TV. You know, I got 5 TVs, all of them smart TVs. You know, it's only one of them that's beneath a 50-inch. But I very, very seldom turn them on. That statement is made, you know, not in a way to compare, contrast myself or what I do to anybody else and how they live. It's just that my focus has shifted. And not that this message is made or being made with the intent to shift your focus. It's just to, you know, like I said, bring some things to the forefront of your awareness and your consciousness. Not only right now is a lot going on, but there's been a lot going on over the last few centuries, not to mention decades. You know, anybody that watches this channel or has frequented multiple videos from this channel, you already know. The so-called powers that be, you know, they deal in deception, technology. They've invested millions into, you know, mind control tactics, infiltrative tactics, deceptive practices, on the scientific level. It's deeper than just how you and I may commune or converse or carry on or exercise different actions. They've actually gotten into the science. They've actually gotten with quantum mechanics and all of that stuff, the high sciences, and have conducted experiments on animals and rodents and things, and they've graduated from those rodents and animals to us. Not only have they done that, they've also graduated into, they've always been accustomed to, because it goes all the way back to ancient times, when the best of them, and I'm speaking about other ethnic backgrounds prior to, there being Italians and Mexicans and all of that. I'm talking about prior to that. I can't say prior to that, but I mean it's way back, centuries and centuries ago, when the best of them, meaning from the Caucasian persuasion, used to come and sit at the feet of the scholars, the melanated scholars, Plato's, Socrates, Pythagoras, and all the boys all had teachers. Every last single one of them. And the best amongst them only completed, based on historical records, 15 years of, to my knowledge, I don't know of, based on the research I've been able to do, any of them that have completed the 20 years of the mystic systems from back in ancient times. And what they've done is they've stayed in tune with that information and those sciences, and they've passed that information down through these generations. And quite naturally, they've utilized it as a weapon against every and anybody else. So, with that being stated, and that's said to say, they're quite advanced at this point. Now, when we talk about us, we've come from the top of civilization. We've actually civilized nations. We've brought civilization to nations. We are the creators. We are the inventors. We are all of that, But to bring it up to date, we've kind of lost all of that. We used to, actually our people, our ancestors are the ones that taught the colonists how to survive through winters. This is why I don't celebrate things like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all of the so-called holy days that they have implemented, because they were simply empowered to do so. Also, to add to that, I personally took issue with knowing more about others, cultures and customs and ways, where at the same time I knew nothing of my own. And we are in the age of Aquarian now, so the information is forthcoming. The information is out there. And I know, it ain't a whole hell of a lot of us that's interested in that knowledge or the knowing of said knowledge. However, it's of a great importance at some point, because without that knowledge or the awareness of that knowledge, it'll be kind of hard, almost impossible, for any of us in today's time to understand where we need to be at, where our focus needs to, excuse me, be, you know, and where we need to be directed, you know, on a collective level. Going along with this speech that I'm giving, you know, we have to factor in cognitive dissonance, and that is basically where, you know, to basically make it simple so that a child can understand it. Cognitive dissonance is where a person is not even willing to entertain information that conflicts with what they've been taught and trained to believe as their truth. You know, to their detriment, whether they recognize it that way or not. You know, if you look around at today's society and how we specifically and individually operate and carry on and carry about, a large percentage of us is focused on currency. We call it money, you know. And the reason why I said at the beginning of this, what are you going to do, is because a lot of us seem to think that all the hoopla and all the talk, you know, about the dollar eventually crashing and being worthless is a joke. A lot of us mistakenly assume that because the multitude of time in our lives has been of ease, seeming ease, and we haven't, you know, experienced certain things that are, you know, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers, and on up the chain, you know, have experienced. We some of us feel as though or mistakenly assume that things can't get drastically fucked up for us. You know, I'm gonna just be candid with y'all. You already know, if you've watched any of my videos, or if you are privy to me as an individual and how I get down, I ain't gonna placate the situation. I ain't gonna pull no punches. I'm gonna give it to you raw and hardcore. You know, so back to it. You know, things can actually take a drastic and immediate turn for the worse. You know, so an example is, and this is why I say, what are you going to do? It's no secret to anybody that knows me. You know, I have weapons. You know, in some cases, I can be a weapon. And I've collected these things for one reason and one reason only. And that reason is that I refuse to be a victim. You know, do I believe that it'll be somebody that looks like me? I know it's possible. I don't see it as being feasible, but at the end of the day, it can happen. You know, and that is the reason. You know, not that I see it as being, you know, highly probable or likely. You know, in the event that it should, or someone would make an attempt, that is what they're there for. You know, do I feel like that's going to be the weapons of choice for the kinds and types of war that we're faced with right now? Minimal at best. Minimal. You know, and I say these things, this whole talk that I'm giving y'all right now, for those that are still watching or have any interest, I make no assumptions. I say these things based off of, seeking knowledge in not just any type of knowledge, occult knowledge, hidden knowledge, for those that don't know what occult means. Since 1997, it's approaching within the next few days, 2024. And one of the books that I read back in 98, I believe it was. Late 97, rather. No, 97. Yeah, it was in 97. Because I went down in June of 95. Didn't come home until, July of 98? So, yeah. Anybody that's not familiar with my story, I was, it's a lot. I'm not even going to get into it, but those that know. Anyway, not to lose the message in that, and to get back to it, we are under multiple fronts of war right now. Not only are they tampering with the food, I don't even know if you can call it food anymore. Not only have they been tampering with the air that we have to breathe for decades on end, they've also, all but completely damaged the water, and largely intentionally, and again, man, I want to make this clear, not only am I not a racist, but it's quite impossible for me to be by default, I specifically, and many like me that look like me, we don't own boats and planes and, millions of dollars, whereas though we can pay off, certain industries whereby they will allow us to, purposely taint things and allow it to be massively produced to the public. We don't embody power to do certain things. If you look around, everybody that could be in a position of power or subservient to those that run the major industries of today, and a lot of them won't dare say anything against them because they've allowed them to feed them. And anybody you allow to feed you, you allow to starve you. And if you don't think that's at the forefront of those, and we know who they are, they know who they are. It ain't important to just, put people on blast. It is what it is, and that's all it is. However, everybody's trying to be on the opposing team, at the expense of creating a team of their own. And we know what I'm talking about. It ain't hard to decipher what I'm saying, Anytime, our Mexican brothers and sisters can pull it together, but we can't. It's not that we can't. It's that we're, it's what it is that, we've been mentally colonized and indoctrinized, taught, trained, and deceived into believing that there is no love in what looks like us, that we have to worry about self. Our candle's flame will go out upon attempting to light another's. Women feel like they don't need us, and a lot of us feel like fuck them, you know? When, you know, none of us are perfect. Let me put that out there, but you know, and based on us not being perfect, we've all dropped a ball or two in our time, you know. But, you know, projects are projects, scientific projects, and the outcome projects what they expected, you know. When you're in power and you ran all kinds of, you know, uh, 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 pardon me, people. You know, I've been ingesting so much information that something as simple as what I'm trying to convey escapes me right now. So they've ran all kinds of experiments, you know, and they've, you know, documented the results of said experiments on animals and rodents. Then they started running them on us, only to find out that the outcome is what they expected. So they create the circumstances and then come in with the supposed remedy, which further ensnares you into their trap. Now, I'm going to need y'all to bear with me, man, because this ain't something I can just run through. I really need to get this, you know, this message out, you know, so, you know, anybody that has a short attention span, or this is something that does not, you know, appeal to you, then, you know, feel, you know, I ain't got to tell you, you're already probably off at this point, you know, but the thing is, man, I think that we don't take life serious enough, man. We really don't, for whatever the reason, you know, we've been, you know, conditioned to devote our attention, and anything that you devote your attention to grows in power. You know, it envelops you. You know, so if, you know, we've been conditioned to do that, then this is, you know, kind of like one of the answers that, you know, explains what's going on today in society. You know, we run around, you know, a lot of us run around, you know, and I'm guilty of this in the past as well. So I'm not stating this from a judgmental perspective. I'm just bringing it to the forefront of whomever's watching's awareness about these things. You know, we run around, chest poked out, you know, focused on things that are, you know, for the most part insignificant, but they mean something to us, you know, because a lot of us are, you know, victims of the effects of the way society is set up. You know, a lot of us come from broken homes, you know, dilapidated circumstances, you know, and during the midst of that, we had to find a way to cope. In whatever way we found to cope that worked for us, you know, we rocked with it. You know, and during the course of those types of things, you know, it has a tendency to not only harden one's heart, you know, but to also make one callous to abnormal circumstances. You know, and this is why today a lot of us don't care anything about what goes on with our fellow man and woman, brother and sister next to us. We focused on what we focused on, you know, and it just is what it is. But you know, on a personal note, you know, the thing is, man, you know, back to the circumstances that we face with, man. You know, you got the computer guy, whatever his name is, I forget it off the top of my head, the one with the glasses, always got a fucked up smirk on his face talking about killing us slowly. The one that's talking about depopulation, you know, the computer guy, Steve Jobs' old partner. Yeah, him. You know, he's bought up all the farmland, you know, introducing his GMOs and highly genetically disadvantageous crops, you know. And we've gotten to the point where as though majority of us don't know how to grow. We not up on that. You know, so a lot of us don't even know how to properly take care of our vessels. A lot of us don't even realize that we're not our vessels. You know, so, you know, we fall victim to dis-ease. You know, we fall victim to harmful ways of living. You know, and ultimately we've begun to perpetuate all that they have initiated to our detriment. You know, a lot of times I think about what does our future look like? What exactly does our future look like? You know, because the educational system isn't doing what it's meant to do. Well, actually, it is doing what it's meant to do. If you understand what took place in the early 1900s, you know, their thing is to produce robots. Get up, go to work wherever you able to find a job. Come home, eat, fuck, entertain yourself, shit, piss, go to sleep, get up and do it again. You know, the financial literacy aspect of it, you know, we have to take the time, you know, it'd be advantageous rather. We ain't gotta do nothing. But it'd be highly advantageous for any of us to learn about the monetary system, the banking system, how money or currency actually works. You know, everybody's running around stressed out about how the bills is going to get paid, you know, how they going to live their best life and keep bills paid, you know, when for real, we wasn't meant to be doing none of that. You know, if you know, you know, but, you know, when they took the gold and the silver out of circulation, there was a kickback, you know, and I know you guys have been hearing it all over social media and all of that, but there are things that you can do to lessen the stress that we are plagued with living our lives having to pay for the increasing amounts necessary for, cost of living. You know, not to mention the only taxes there are federal taxes. I'm gonna say that again. The only taxes there are federal taxes. And then, there are ways around that. However, none of us will be able to execute that to our benefit by doing the things that we've, gotten accustomed to doing. It's easy to fall into that trap, man, that rat race, whereby, we've accepted that quite literally half of our money, half of our wages are being taken prior to us even receiving them for the services that our labor has rendered. All these things that I'm talking about are just little things. There's so many little things, I can speak about, when it comes to the spiritual war. They understand, the esoteric and the metaphysics of what we call religion. And I'm not going to delve too far off into that because, the thing is, everybody's so goddamn sensitive nowadays, So, when it comes to that, believe what you want to believe, what you choose to believe, and it is what it is with that. However, I am going to say this. Every last one of the organized religions of today were founded upon what's called spirituality. You take that for what it's worth, and you do with that what you may. But, how much of that stuff actually teaches you about you? Because that's another thing that we have to, that it behoove us to strive towards, and that's knowledge itself. Somebody asks you right now, who are you? Don't get to talking about my name. Well, I'm such and such, what my name is. Who are you? What is your life's purpose? What are you here to do? These are things that's laughed on. The people laugh about these things. But it holds a way heavier significance than we allotted. I don't want to drag it out too far. It's already close to 40 minutes. But, the thing is, man, too many of us take life for granted. We don't take it serious enough. We act as if we had forever. And none of us knows the amount of life force energy that we have or how much time we have to complete what we incarnated to do. A lot of us aren't willing to sacrifice for anything. This is evident by all the things that have happened over the last few decades alone. People were able to just come into our communities and do whatever the fuck they want to do. No resistance. We've become so docile And this is for the men. As men, we at the drop of a dime, we ready to exact, retribution or, and inflict harm on our brother or our sister, somebody that look like us. As soon as, somebody with a uniform comes in to inflict harm or injury, we ain't got that same energy. We pulling out that phone, we making jokes about it, It's just no, it's like, a lot of the shit that I see is sad, man. You know what I mean? Then you get into those that are willing to sell anybody out for their advancement, And I don't want this to sound like something that it's not. I'm not on here, to cast us in a fucked up light. I'm just speaking the facts, man. In this instance, I'm just a messenger, man, trying to put the mirror up to you so we can see ourselves, a lot of us have no idea, and that's a purposeful thing because of all the miseducation and the deceit and the technology that we've been, fed. It's sometimes it's hard to think positive, not for me on a personal level because, I see things different, but, they got us worrying about all the bullshit, all this insignificant shit, when for real, the thing of it is to basically take control of your life. What do I mean when I say take control of your life? What took place when you was born? Why does some other man have control over what you do? Is there a way to come from out from underneath of that? Absolutely. But that requires going against the grain. That requires standing up for yourself. That requires confronting your fears. And contrary to popular belief, folks, anybody that picks and chooses who they go hard at, who they deal with in a certain fashion, that is, in my opinion, the definition of a coward. It's the definition of a coward. We think a little bit of, it's crazy that I'm gonna say it like this though. You can have $1 million or a couple $1 million, but if you're not really in tune with what's going on and you don't know what to do with it, you just wasted all that time and energy to obtain it. We really got to get in tune with what's going on, man. What they actually doing, what they've actually been doing, and what we can do to combat it. Nobody on this planet can do anything to you that you don't allow. Nobody. And then for my older individuals, It's non-gender specific. We not getting no younger, man. You know, a lot of us still want to, try to relive our youth in our younger years. You know, it's really not for me to tell anybody what to do. I'm just sharing my thoughts, man. I just see a lot based off the type of stuff that I've been through in this life I've been living. That a lot of shit just ain't gonna go nowhere. You know, it may temporarily. You know, you gotta remember, man. We not getting younger. We time's not going backwards. You know, and I don't know about nobody else, man, but I don't, I don't consider myself an average individual. And there's many people that we losing, off a bunch of nonsense. What do you want, to be said about you and, post your demise? What do do a lot of you guys even understand, or even giving thought to what you want your life to look like, and what are you actually doing to manifest that, to bring it to fruition, to pull it from your mind into this reality? How many of us are walking around with hate in our heart? How many of us are walking around worrying about what somebody else or others are doing as opposed to playing chess with ours, making chess moves with our life? How many of us are seeking attention and validation as opposed to actually, getting 10 toes down and making some moves to make shit happen, to make your life look like what you see in your mind? I think it's a little too past bedtime for us to just, kind of blame the white man. Because at this point, I'm not saying that, that's not a fact. Yeah, they've done what they've done, and they're doing what they're doing. And they're going to continue to do what they do. Question is, what are we going to do? What are you going to do? It's like, man, I think it's high time, man. We growed up, not only mentally but emotionally, spiritually. It's just a whole lot of things that I could say other than what I've said, but the bottom line of this message, man, is just, we just got to do a little better than what we're doing, man. We have to really look at ourselves in the mirror, dissect what we actually see, being real with self in doing so, and start chipping away at the aspects of ourselves that no longer serves ourselves. In my mind, it's always been about improving upon oneself. It's always been about becoming a better you than you were yesterday, or making attempts to be the best you that you can be. to the social media thing. They're using social media to educate AI. You know, even for those of us that don't post pictures on social media, they know what we look like. Especially if you've been in the box, been arrested, they know what you look like. You can't take the batteries out your phone no more. They listening. You know. Those of us that's still playing Russian roulette with our freedom. Hope you made a exit strategy and developed a plan, to not have to, fall victim to the chess game that they playing. For the youngins out there, the warriors that we got out there. They're afraid of y'all, man. They're afraid of, what's that? They're afraid of your potential. They're afraid of your lack of fear. The only thing that allows them to feel semi-comfortable is that your focus is on people that look just like you. Another thing that eases their fear is the fact that a lot of us are stagnant, stuck and stagnant in doing what has been done for years. A lot of us, I was there once too. I didn't think that there was anything else that I could do besides hustle. Besides, work the underworld to my advantage, financially and otherwise. But trust me, man, what I say at the beginning of these videos couldn't be the furthest from the truth, man. There's so much information out there, man. You can't do what you don't know. So, what you seeking is also seeking you. Universal law. What they call it, the universal law of what is it? Hey man, my mind is shot right now. Excuse me, y'all. It's the law where they say attraction. The law of attraction. It's all about science, man. It's about science. It's about numbers. It's about mathematics. Numerology, gematria, the sciences. These are the things, if any of you guys didn't know, that's going to teach you about yourself. Astrology, astronomy, cosmology, quantum physics, quantum mechanics, these different things, man. This stuff ain't too hard for us, man. Listen, speaking from somebody that came up in the streets, and been in the penitentiaries, man, we are some of the most gifted people on the planet. We already embody the 9 series DNA. which only means that we have the most propensity for genius, you know. But our attention has been diverted, you know. We're focused on the insignificant, expecting the benefit. Not to say that nobody's not benefiting. Saying none of the shit I'm saying is a knock to nobody. All I'm saying is that what is it that you could be doing better? What is it that you could be doing that could not only benefit self, but those that love you and who you love? You know, we're not making the right types of sacrifices, man. You know, that's just, you know, what I'm seeing and what I'm perceiving. You know, I just think that you know, instead of, you know, any of us, you know, worrying about what the next man or woman is doing and trying to villainize that, our time and attention and efforts are much better spent turning those energies inward on ourselves, instead of worrying about who's not doing this for you and, you know, who's not showing this type of attention to you or love, whatever the case. Show it to your goddamn self. Give it to your goddamn self. You know, you got to stop expecting things to be given and going, and, you know, either just become it and thereby attract it, or do the legwork, because there are no elevator rides to the top. You got to take the stairs, step by step by step by step. You know, man. Again, man, these are just some of my thoughts, man, and I felt, you know, compelled to come on here and drop a message, man. You know, always see yourself in the best light, man. You know, don't talk negatively about yourself even in jest. Don't even joke about yourself in a negative light. Because whether you believe it or not, whether you understand it or not, whether you care about it or not, the vibrational frequency of your voice has an effect. Your thoughts have an effect. Everything is energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred or transformed. You know, so always, you know, see yourself in the best light. Don't let nothing or nobody, nothing what somebody says or nothing what somebody does to dictate how you see yourself. If you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. So, you know, I got other shit to do, you know what I mean? And it's been so long since I've been on here. You know, I'm actually going to transform the way I do what I do. But this is just something that I felt necessary to just, you know, talk to y'all about, man, you know. You know, because there is not a lot of positive reinforcement. A lot of us don't have access to those that will speak life into us, to encourage us, you know, to be that, that support system. You know, and then the crazy thing about it is a lot of us don't really need things done for us. We just need to, you know, somebody to let us know, you know, what they see, you know, and this is for anybody that knows me. There is no room other than room for improvement, you know. Never cease to evolve, man, you know. And like, you know, if you stuck in a cycle, you know, that you actually kind of tired of, you know, and I know a lot of us ain't going to be real you know, because of our, reputation or the way we feel people will perceive, what we do. I've actually grown past that. And the results of letting that go has shown me in my own life that it's all about how you see you. It's all about how you feel about you. It's all about how you deal with you, how you love you. But most importantly, it's about being real with you. If you can't be honest with yourself, ain't nobody external to you got a shot at receiving your honesty. Maybe sometimes, but if you're not real with yourself, how can you be real? How can you extend that honesty to somebody else that you don't even show yourself? If you ain't learned how to love yourself unconditionally, then how can you extend that unconditional love to somebody else outside of yourself? If you still in a deficient state of mind, where as though you're worried about what people think about how you choose to live your life, or what, being unapologetic about what's important to you and standing 10 toes down on that and striving towards that, how do you expect to make it to where you want to be underneath the facade? Because whether we want to admit it or not, we all got feelings. That's just like for any of us that done any real time. You can put that mask on in front of everybody on the tier, and on the yard, in the weight pile, whatever. But when them lights go out and everybody's snoring or sleeping, you ain't got nobody but yourself to deal with. And if you real with those thoughts that you experience in those times, I think they're strong. I actually know that they're strong enough to facilitate change in self. Because I don't know nobody that, is completely content with their life. Because anybody that has aspirations or inspirations, goals, objectives, dreams, that they want to accomplish in this life, that's satisfied when they're not accomplishing them. Money can only do with so much, man. Any of us that had money, I'm talking about lump sums of money, all together at one time, what does it profit a man to gain the world at the cost of his soul? If you're one of them individuals that'll do anything for money, let's say you're successful and you get that million, a couple million. And the things that you chose to do to get it, and all the expenses that other people for, all the, other people's expense that you threw to the wayside in order to get there, you can have all that money, man, and not be happy, not be fulfilled, and not be satisfied because you don't have the people that you really love to be there, to enjoy it with you. It's and I know some of y'all might be looking at this and saying, well, nigga, you got a nerve. I ain't got shit. Anybody that I backed up off of, it was for a reason. And it don't always mean that you did something to me. It just means that I gotten to the point where as though I got to take control of my life and focus on the things that mean something to me. I ain't got no twins. I came out the pussy by my lonesome. And I don't say that with malice. All I'm saying is what's real. I'm going to die by my lonesome. And depending on how far your knowledge goes into spirituality, man, I came here to do something. We all came here to do something. Ask yourself, are you doing what you came here to do? I can't answer that for you. But I know I'm close to doing what I came here to do. You know? And if me doing what I feel as though is right for me bothers anybody, I don't know what to say, but that's kind of personal. You know what I mean? I ain't on here to explain my circumstances or the way I live either. But I ain't running from it. You know what I mean? If anybody got an issue, air your issue. If you ain't got an issue, okay, that's what's up. You know? But I spent a lot of time in my life putting my wants and needs on the back burner, you know what I mean? For the sake of other people, man. And, you know, sometimes, man, it takes for you to be stingy and selfish with yourself. You know, in order for you to do the things and accomplish the things that you need and feel important for you to do and achieve. You know, and that's all that's about, man. So, you know, it just is what it is, man. You know, I ain't got no issues with nobody, you know what I mean? And even if somebody did slight me, somebody did do something that I felt as though was fucked up, it's okay. It's not even an issue. I've moved on from it. You should do the same. You know, life too short to be harboring weak emotions and disdain, you know, and hatred in your heart for somebody else, because those emotions have a physiological effect. You know, I done already damn near checked out one time. Hypertension, high blood pressure, stress, and all that. I'm not going there no more. I'm not going there no more. You know, so anybody that may have an issue, if you're not man or woman enough to address me or come holler at me, call me, whatever the case, then in my mind, there ain't no issue. I'm just living my life. You know what I mean? Best way I know how. You know, both my parents is deceased. I gotta have me. I gotta make sure I'm good. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Not to mention, I got two souls that I played an intricate part of bringing here, that I got to make sure that they straight for whenever my time do come to check out of this vessel. That's what my focus is. Creating a life that I don't need a vacation from, and making sure that I leave something for them. You know, so if you thought I had a problem with you, you was wrong. It ain't that deep for me, man. You know, shit happens. People make mistakes. Sometimes we make wrong decisions. Who you listening to? Anybody that knows me know I done did a plenty of fucking up in my day. But my decisions don't dictate who I am. You know? Can't live in the past. All I can do is make the best of what's left. And that's what I'm doing. That's where my focus is. So anybody that got an issue, period, that's your shit. Keep it over there. Keep it over there. Because I ain't got time for it. You know what I mean? You know, I got other shit I'm focused on, man. You know, and I just, you know, hopefully, man, you know, basically all that was said on this, man, I hope it's received in the right energy, because my intention was pure. you know, and that's how I live, man. I come with pure intentions. You know, I can't shoulder the responsibility of how you take anything I do or say, nor am I interested in it. You know what I mean? You know, so I just hope that, you know, it was something that was said, you know, that I felt it was important enough to get on here and talk to y'all about and put out in the public, that somebody can at least resonate with, if not gain any value from, you know. And never underestimate the power of the mind, man. The power of the mind. If you look back, any of y'all looking at this video, because I'm about to cut it, but anybody looking at this video, reflect on your life. Anything you ever made up your mind to do that you wanted to do, did you or did you not do it? Well, what's stopping you from doing whatever's on your mind now? Because I know specifically for those that I came up with and was running the streets with, was in and out the penitentiaries with, everything that we wanted to do, we did it. Didn't even give a fuck what we had to go through to do it. Don't never lose that part of yourself. Because anything that you want to accomplish, you can and will. You know? What the fuck is death? You can't run from it. You can't control when it's your time. All you can do is live the best life you know how to live. You know? You know, but with that said, man, try to pay attention to what you putting in yourself, what you ingesting. You know, health is the real wealth. You know, money or currency and monetary possessions, all that shit is just stuff. You can always get stuff again, you know. But you can't get you back again. You can't get somebody that you really love, and you being immature and stubborn instead of going on and, you know, dead in the situation, you know. So y'all go ahead, you know, enjoy the rest of y'all's evening, man. Be safe. Anytime you need to be dangerous, do that. You know, and be the best you know how to be, man. And sometimes it's a process with that. Sometimes you got to graduate through cycles and, you know, work through some karmic debt. You know, sometimes you got to go through some shit, you know, before you come up right. It's worth it. You know what I mean? Easy come, easy go. Fast come, fast go. You know what I mean? I ain't fucked no. Only thing I can say is I ain't never fucked nobody around to get where I'm at. I went through all the levels. I put in all the work. I've been patient. And I still got a long way to go based on what's important to me and what I'm striving to do. You know, don't never become complacent, man. You know what I mean? Because your life can look like whatever you want it to look like, you know? And for real, man, sometimes the things that mean the most to you, you got to be patient to get it. Everything ain't just going to come like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, just be encouraged, man. You know, anybody that's struggling, man, keep your head up. You know, understand that, you know, you're not your circumstances. You know, anybody that ain't able to dress like they want to dress or drive the kind of car they want to drive or whatever, man, just be patient, man, and put your work in. You know, the end of the rainbow in your mind should be the outcome. I know if I put my nose to the ground, lace up my boots, throw my hard hat on and grind, I'm going to get there. But the thing is, man, you also have to educate yourself, man, because think about it, from preschool to graduation, you know, even if you do some college, a lot of that shit, you know how many college degrees I know people have and they not even operating in the field that they majored in, you know. And lastly, man, if you fall 5 times, be prepared to get up 6. Don't never quit, because you never lose until you quit. So with that, I'm going. Y'all be easy, and I'll catch y'all shortly.